welcome to GB Yoga Online with me, Maddie. I'm going to do a nice gentle-ish flow for us this evening. Call it the bedtime flow. You can do it, of course, at any time. It's just a little bit more gentle, a little bit slower with the breathing, and just trying to find a little bit of peace. So we're going to start as I am in a nice cross-legged position. If you're unable to cross your legs, you can always pop a pillow underneath your hips to elevate the hips up, or a blanket. If you have a yoga block, that works well as well. Alternatively, you can kneel or outstretch the legs in front, so just finding a comfortable position. If you maybe want to start sitting on a chair as well, you can do that also. But I want us just to settle here, wherever you may be. Rooting down through your sit bones, if they're on the ground. But lengthening up through the crown of the head. And just starting to run through the body, noticing what there is to notice, any sensations, any feedback. Noticing any areas that start to emit any tension, and maybe with every breath you take, that tension just starts to melt away. And we'll bring one hand onto our bellies, one hand to the heart. And we'll start to add some more depth and control to our breath. So as you inhale, beginning to fill the belly. And as you exhale, emptying the breath. And again, as you inhale, filling the belly. But then allowing that breath to travel up all the way to that top hand, passing the ribs, all the way to the chest. And as you exhale, allowing the chest, the rib cage and the belly to fall. Now stick with this for some time. Following the flow, belly, rib cage, chest, rib cage, belly. And just starting to notice any further sensations that might start to arise, that feedback that might be getting louder. And then releasing the hands onto your knees. Together we'll take one really big inhale, holding it in at the top of the breath. Keeping that retention for 10, if you can. 3, 2, 1, and then open the mouth and let it go. And just blink the eyes open. They're not open already. And we're going to leave the hands on the knees. Let the shoulders remain relaxed. And as we inhale, just starting to lift and open the heart. Taking our kind of variation of the cow. And as you exhale, rounding the spine, bringing your chin into the chest. Broadening into the back of the body. And again, inhale, lift and open the heart. And exhale to round. And just keep that flow starting to incorporate your pelvis. So as you inhale and lift, dropping the pelvis forward. And as you exhale, kind of tucking your tailbone underneath. So we're not just working through our spines and opening the heart. We're also starting to work the anterior and posterior tilt of our pelvis. again, maybe reclosing the eyes now. So we take a few more rounds here, starting to feel into the body. And then the next time you inhale, finding your neutral seated position. We're going to draw our chin down to the chest. This might be enough. Think about kind of making a double chin as you pull the chin back in towards the throat, maybe increasing this by interlacing the hands to the back of the head and then the elbows drop. And maybe even pushing your head slightly back into the hands. Be gentle here. Just lengthening into these extensor neck muscles and get a bit tired, especially if you're spending a lot of time behind a screen at the moment or on your phone a lot. And then release the hands down. This time we'll lift the chin up. But I want you to pull the teeth, the jaw, the mouth together and start to stretch into the throat. And then coming back to center, we'll drop our right ear down towards our right shoulder. Let the shoulders drop. Maybe adding a little bit more tension by bringing the right hand to the side of the face to increase that stretch. And then releasing the right hand down, and as you inhale, left arm comes up and over. Begin to open into the side of the waist. Maybe letting your head continue to drop towards the floor. And if you have the space to do so, dropping down onto the elbow. Now, it's not the end goal. If you have really long arms like me, this just might mean that you have to get onto the elbow to really feel into this movement. But try and keep both of your sit bones rooted. And then inhale to come up. Release the left ear down towards the left shoulder. Again, relax the shoulders. Don't try and draw them up towards the ear. Maybe increasing the stretch, bringing the hand to the side of the head. And then bringing the left hand down as we inhale, right arm can come up and over, opening into your side bend, and breathe. Think about trying to inflate into the side waist. And then as you inhale, coming all the way up. So we're going to make our way onto all fours, into quadrupeds, with a lovely slow start to this practice, keeping it gentle. I want you to come straight back into your cat and cow. So as you inhale, lower the belly, lift the chest, relax your shoulders. And as you exhale, round. And again, inhale. And exhale. Two more, inhale. And exhale. And then inhale. And as you exhale, hold it there. We're going to tuck our toes underneath. Begin to press into those tucked toes, lifting the hips, lifting the knees for downward facing dog. We'll begin to pedal, straighten one leg as you bend the other. Move the hips, wiggle into the ribs, start to really free everything up, shake the head. Think of these next 5 breaths, a bit of kind of freestyle, whatever you need to do here. It doesn't have to be downward dog. Maybe you want to start lifting legs and just working out the clicks, which I have many. And then settling into your downward facing dog. We're going to take an inhale. I want you to roll through the spine as you come into plank. And then as you exhale, just start to lower the hips slightly, lift the chest. Good, then lift the hips back up. And exhale back to downward dog. And again, inhale, roll through the spine. And as you exhale, maybe flipping your feet, lifting the chest for upward dog. And then tuck the toes and exhale for downward dog. Once more, inhale, roll through the spine. As you exhale, squeeze the glutes, flip the feet, lift the chest. And exhale for downward facing dog. And just taking a great big inhale. And And then open the mouth and let the breath go. Softening the knees, we'll just begin to walk our feet up to the top of the mat. Forward folding, kind of drooping over the legs, hugging the elbows, letting the head release. Just gently rocking side to side, and it's comfortable to do so. And then releasing the hands down to your feet, soften the knees further. And we'll slowly begin to roll all the way up to standing. And as you come upright, setting the shoulders back and down, we'll bring our hands to heart center. Close the eyes for a moment. Take a few breaths. And just feel the ground, the mat, the floor beneath your feet. Using that to anchor you. But finding that lightness, that growth through the crown of the head. Knowing that we'll be moving the space between the feet, the head. But it's our feet that anchor us, and it's our head that keeps us light, keeps us in control. Now as you inhale, begin to lengthen the arms up. We're going to take our right wrist into the left hand, so just gently gripping around it. And as you inhale, lengthen that right arm up. And as you exhale, take it over to the left, just opening into the sideways. Let the shoulders relax, root the tailbone down. And then inhale to center. And as you exhale, send the hips back to fold. We'll step the right foot back, release the knee, keep the toes tucked, and as you inhale, come all the way up. You can join the palms, but if the shoulders are tight, feel free to separate them, and as you inhale, really lengthen, lift the heart, but keep the core strong, keep the tailbone rooting down. And as you drive that right hip forward, you'll start to feel that lovely opening to the hip flexors. Then as you exhale, right hand comes down to the floor, left hand stays up. And pressing into those tuck toes, we'll lift the knee into a twisted crescent. Start to really lean into your right hand, your right shoulder. And then we'll drop the right knee down, bring the left hand to your hip, and as we extend the left leg back, we'll find our modified side plank. You can leave the left foot down, or utilising the glute to try and lift that leg up. And think about picking up that sideways. Don't fall into the right shoulder. Last breath. And then as you exhale, left hand comes down, as do the feet. We'll release the knees, and as you exhale, slowly lower onto your belly. Keep the head of the arm bones lifted, and as you inhale, lift the heart. And you're pulling the heart forward. Glutes are strong, belly is in. Release the chest, tuck the toes. And we'll find downward facing dog. Take a nice big inhale in through the nose. And then out through the mouth. Inhale, lengthen the left leg up. Taking a bend into the left knee, begin to stack the hips open. Really squeeze into the left glute. Switch it all on. And then as you inhale, we're going to bring the left knee forward, bring the shoulders over the wrists before stepping the foot through. Release the right knee back down. And as we inhale, drive the heart, lift the chest, relax the shoulders. And as you exhale, come back into our half split. Inhale, forward, lift the heart. And exhale to come back. And then inhale to come forward, we'll tuck the back toes, lifting the knee. And starting to squeeze the inner thighs together as you inhale, come all the way up. I want you to root the tailbone down, continue to hug the belly, the rib cage in as you inhale. Arms come up, relax the shoulders. Breathe here. Again, feel the ground beneath your feet, anchor here. The mind's going to wander throughout your practice, but come back to now. Be here, be still. And as you inhale, lengthening that little bit more through the spine. And as you exhale, take it into a prayer twist, bringing your right elbow to the left thigh. You're welcome to drop the back knee down here, but with every inhale you take, find length through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, press the palms together to try and deepen your twist. And then inhale, bring the hands into heart center, hold them there, and we'll step the right foot forward to Tadasana. Relax the shoulders, close the eyes, press the thumbs to the center of the chest, reconnect. Anchor into the feet. And then inhale, lengthen up. This time taking your right hand and using it to grab the left wrist. As we inhale, we'll lengthen up. And as you exhale, take it over to the right. Starting to open into that left hand side of the waist. And then inhale to center. And as you exhale, send the hips back as we fold. Step the left foot back, release the knee. If you can, keep the toes tucked, and then inhale, arms come up. Join the palms if it's comfortable for the shoulders. If they tense up, just relax them down and separate the hands. As we inhale, finding that length, hugging the belly, the rib cage in. And as you exhale, drive your hips forward, maybe slightly lift the heart. Don't want any dumping into the lower back, so keep it nice and strong here. Maybe closing the eyes, spending a moment. Feel what that is to feel here. Where is the challenge? Is it a physical challenge? Is it mental, emotional? And then as you exhale, left hand comes down, right hand comes up. We'll begin to lift the left knee, coming into our twisted crescent. Start to really lean into your left hand, your left scapula, and pull that left hand back towards the toes. Continuing to draw the belly and rib cage in while you are here. And then we'll release the left knee down underneath the hip. Right hand can come to the hip. And we'll start to extend the right leg away. So maybe you leave the leg on the floor or start to firm up through the glutes so you can begin to lift. Pick up into that side of the ribs, don't fall into the shoulder, keep strong here, breathe. And then as you exhale, release the hand, release the feet, find your plank, release the knees down, and as you exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, lift the chest, relax the shoulders, and then exhale for downward facing dog. Together, taking a big inhale, and as you exhale, let it all go. Inhale, lengthen the right leg up. Taking a bend into the knee, maybe opening those hips, working out those clicks, squeezing into the right glute. To see if you can lift that knee a little bit higher. And then as you inhale, drawing the knee into the chest, shoulders come over the wrists, and we'll step the foot through. Release the back knee down. As you inhale, drive the heart forward, drive the hips. And as you exhale, take it into your half split. And again, inhale forward. And exhale back. Just a couple more, maybe taking it slower, maybe a little bit quicker, just follow your breath. Then as you inhale and come forward, we'll tuck the back toes underneath, lifting the back knee in, harnessing that strength by squeezing the inner thighs together. As you inhale, come up. Again, root down, be here. Maybe take a moment just to pause, observe What is moving through you right now? Yoga, it's a challenge, especially if you're learning, but when you can really start to move into these postures with presence, it's like a moving meditation. You can really start to observe what's going on in your body, in your mind, in your emotions. And then as you inhale, joining the hands overhead as you lengthen up. And as you exhale, twisting to your right, bringing the left elbow to the thigh. Again, drop the back knee down if needed, and you can always separate your hands if that twist is a bit too demanding. With every inhale, finding length through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, finding some more depth to that twist if available to you. And then as you inhale, bringing the hands back into heart center, and we'll step to the top of the mat. Close the eyes, keep the hands at heart center, and breathe. Now we'll take that flow once more with some added progressions this time. So as you inhale, lengthen the arms. Take hold of the right wrist with the left hand. As you inhale, lengthen up. And as you exhale, take it over. Good. Now as you inhale, come to center. Exhale, send the hips back to fold. We'll step the right foot back, this time not dropping the knee. Harness that strength between the legs. And as you inhale, come all the way up. Soften that back knee slightly and really root the tailbone down. And we're going to slowly release the knee down to the mat. If this is too difficult, stay up. Squeeze the glutes, drive the hips forward slightly, and then come back up, increasing the demand of the stretch, the front of the hip. And again, slowly coming down. Inhale to lengthen, drive the hips forward, then come all the way back up. Now pause here as you inhale, find length. And as you exhale, bring the hands down and start to lift and open your heart. Big inhale. Open the mouth, let it go. Once more. As you exhale, right hand comes down. We'll bring our left hand to the lower back and just start to twist open. Draw the belly, the rib cage in, and lean back into that right hand and right shoulder blade. Maybe you leave your left hand here as we come onto the outside of the right foot, loading the right shoulder as we take side plank. Of course, if you need to modify, please do drop the knee down at any time, or alternatively, take a normal plank. Pick up the side of the waist, don't fall into the shoulder, last breath. Then as you exhale, left hand comes down, find plank, option to drop the knees. And as you exhale, slowly lower, come all the way onto the belly. Interlace the hands behind the back, and as you inhale, keep the feet down, but lift the chest, open the heart. One more breath. Then as you exhale, plant the hands, tuck the toes, lift the hips for downward facing dog. As you inhale, lengthen the left leg up. Take a bend into the left knee, pause there. You have the option to stay here or step the foot behind you for wild thing. So opening out, driving the hips up for extension. Nice strong belly and glutes to support the lower back. And then bringing your left hand down, we're going to bring the left knee forward to the left wrist, sliding the right leg back and centering up for pigeon. Now if you can't take pigeon, take an alternate hip opener, maybe coming onto your back, or taking child's pose for the time being. But we're going to square up and we're going to start to fold. Now you have the option to take pigeon as you normally would, but should you wish to add a twist, see how it feels to slide the left arm underneath the right, coming onto the side of the face. Just 3 more breaths. And then bringing the hands back in. We're going to sit down onto our left side, so you'll be sideways on your mat. Left leg stays bent, right leg extends. I'm just sitting nice and tall here. Bringing your right hand to the inside of the right thigh or calf. Left arm extends out to the left. Right hand just stays where it is. We're going to reach over with the left hand into a side bend. Now you might want to bend the right elbow, bringing the hand to the side of the head for support here, or you can let the head release. Now if we were in class, if you were with me, you know I'd like to add the strap in here to help people get a bit deeper. What I'm looking for is that just a nice stretch to the side of the waist, just freeing up the tissues. Try not to collapse towards the floor. Think about lifting and opening the chest. Again, like you're trying to show a logo off on your top. And then inhale to come up. Stay on your sit bones, swivel the legs to the top of your mat. And we're going to come into boat. So you can float the feet. You can leave the feet down, hands can stay up, hands can come down, or of course you can take your bind with first 2 fingers and thumb to the big toe. If you're here, make sure you're not collapsing into your back. You want to keep driving the heart forward, shoulders drawing back. One more breath. And then as you exhale, release the feet about hip distance, hands behind you about shoulder distance. And then as you inhale, lifting for reverse table. Squeeze into the glutes. I like to keep my head looking towards the knees. One more breath. Then as you exhale, release the hips, cross the legs. So bring the hands to the top of the mat and then we'll step to standing. Hands into heart center, big inhale. And exhale. Inhale, arms lengthen. Take hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Extend the arm up, then take it over to the right. Breathe here. And then inhale to center. Exhale, send the hips back to fold. Step the left foot back, begin to squeeze the inner thighs together. And as you inhale, we're coming all the way up. Of course, if this is too demanding, feel free to drop the back knee down at any time. I like to soften my back knee here to set my pelvis to neutral, so I've got no tilt. And you can do the same if you need to. And as you inhale, get as long as you can. And as you exhale, slowly lower. Drive the hips a little bit deeper so you have more of an opening to the front of the left hip. And then pressing into those tucked toes, come all the way back up. And again, slowly come down. Deepen if you can by driving forward. And then coming all the way back up. Hold it there. Find that length. Find that strength and stabilization through your core, through your glutes. And be here. Now as you come into our twisted crescent, inhale and lengthen. As you exhale, twist to the right. And as you do so, bring the left hand down. Lean into your left hand, your left shoulder blade. Anchor and deepen into this right hip. And our right hand can come to the lower back. Think about finding length from the crown of the head all the way back to that heel. Now either dropping the left knee for modified side plank or coming to the outer part of your left foot. You can stack the right foot on top, lifting the side of the waist. And then exhale, right hand comes down, find plank. And as you exhale, slowly lower onto the belly. Now I'm going to take a few options here, 3 in total. We'll start with our head down, hands either side of the hips, exhale. And then as you inhale, lift everything up. Lift the heart, draw the shoulder blades together, firm through the glutes, find length from toes to your head. And then as you exhale, release.
Second option, interlace the hands as we've done previously, this time lifting the legs as well. Exhale. And as you inhale, lift everything. Hands can stay resting on the back or maybe lifting them off as well. Breathe here. And then as you exhale, release. Third option for those that practice bow, you can take your bow set. If you haven't done it before, maybe don't today as I'm not here to observe. So take one of the previous, we'll exhale. And then as you inhale, lift. Holding this last one for 5 breaths. Of course, release prior to that if needed. And then as you exhale, release, bring the hands under the head, bring the feet nice and wide. And then bringing your hands in either side of the chest. Tuck the toes underneath to find downward facing dog. Now as you inhale, right leg extends up. Take a bend into the right knee, stacking the hips open. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you step the foot behind you, opening up into wild thing. Trying to get that scapula involved so our shoulder is over the wrist, using that for stabilization. Then as you exhale, right hand comes down, lift the right foot, bringing the knee forward to the wrist, and our left leg can extend away. So make any adjustments to your pigeon, and when you're ready, you can come down if needed. There should not be any joint pain here, especially in the knee, so please do release. You can drop me a message and I can talk you through some lovely variations you can try next time then. So always listening to the body. Maybe coming into your twist, threading the right arm underneath the left, coming onto the side of the face. And then walking the hands back in. We're going to sit onto our right side this time, so our left leg is lengthened, right foot coming into the inside of the thigh. Left hand can reach to the inside of the thigh or calf, right arm to the right. And we'll take that right arm up and over into our side bend. Coming into this nice pause again, you can always use your hand to support the head if the neck gets tired. And just breathe into this side of the waist. Finding space where you can. And these pauses are offering us an opportunity to come back to our body, our breath. When we're moving, we're usually focusing on the movements in hand. So it's more of a focus than a presence. Focus is kind of your ability to think of one thing at one time, whereas presence is taking everything in at once. And being able to observe everything individually, but also all together. Now as you inhale, come up. Staying on our sit bones, we're going to bring the legs in front. Coming back into your boat pose, Navasana, whichever variation. So driving the heart forward is most important, keeping that lovely long spine. Maybe you can float the feet. If you're playing with keeping the legs straight, you can try one at a time. Or of course you can hold them both, maybe taking the bind. And then as you exhale, releasing the feet, releasing the hands, and as you inhale, coming back up into your reverse table. And then exhale to slowly lower the hips. So reach our arms either side of the legs and we'll slowly roll down onto the back. And just lengthening the legs up to the ceiling. If you have a wall, you're welcome to come to a wall, but we're not going to be here too long. I like to do this sometimes before bed, or if I've been on my feet all day, which I have not yet. Of course, there is the option for shoulder stand. I don't teach shoulder stand in class, but I know a lot of you have it in practice with other teachers, so of course, if it's part of your practice, I welcome you to take it here. And I have put this up as a kind of wind down flow. It's still got a lot of energy in the practice, so it's up to you whether you'd like to invert here. Sometimes I find inversions can give you this boundfulness of energy, so that's your call. And now bringing the knees into the chest, hug them in, have a roll on the lower back, on the spine. And then bringing your feet to the edges of the mat, knees up to the ceiling. We'll drop both knees down to the right. Maybe bringing your right foot on top of the left thigh to draw the left knee down. And maybe turning your head to the left. Starting to close the eyes now if you haven't already done so. And then as you inhale, coming back to center. And then dropping your knees down to the left. Maybe bringing left foot on top of the right thigh and turning your head to the right. And then coming back to center before finding Shavasana, your final resting pose. Feet can be nice and wide, toes falling out to the sides. Arms away from the body, palms facing up, shoulders relaxed. Of course, bend the knees or take an alternate position if you struggle to lay flat. And just taking a moment to scan through your body. As you scan over each muscle, joint, limb, just telling it it's okay to relax, that you're in a safe space. Start to let go of your breath, allowing the mouth and the chest to soften. The area that surrounds your eyes is softening, your shoulders becoming heavy. Imagining there's a weighted ball in each of your hands, just gently allowing you to melt into the ground beneath. And bring in your awareness to the space between your eyebrows, the center of the third eye. And in your mind's eye, see if you can visualize yourself just standing in an empty space. And in the distance of that empty space, you can see a bright white light. You are not afraid of the light. You know its presence is calm, nurturing, warm, safe, comforting. And as you observe this light, you notice that it's slowly approaching you. And the closer it becomes, the more detail you can see. And you start to realize that this light is a person. Maybe you recognize them, maybe you don't. But their presence makes you feel safe. And as this person, this light, this object approaches you, they reach out, touching your center of the brows with the light. And you start to see yourself slowly being covered and comforted all over your body, like you yourself are encased in an egg of safety. You have become that safe space. Now imagine this glow that surrounds you now is starting to expand. Not just covering you, but the empty space around you. But then it starts to spread all the way to your loved ones. So you can now vision them in your mind's eye, being covered in this safe, glowing, warm, nurturing light. And as they become encased in this comfort, you notice it starts to radiate from them outwards further, until it's no longer in your control. It's starting to cover the whole of your town, your city, your country, in this space of nurturing. A light that's bringing us all together. And as you zoom out from yourself, from your friends, your family, your city, your country, you start to look down as if looking at the earth. And slowly seeing the whole of the earth being nurtured by this warm love, compassion, nurturing comfort. And going back to yourself, coming back into your present body, observing the sensations once more in your body. And with that, beginning to deepen your breath. And bringing more awareness to the body. Maybe starting to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. If you have no desire to move, then you can finish here, the remainder of the session. For those wanting to move, maybe progressing into a stretch, maybe hugging the knees back into the chest, maybe rolling, twisting, whatever feels good. And when you're ready to do so, rolling onto your right hand side, maybe using your arm as a pillow. Just take in your final couple of breaths here before we come up. And then in your own time, making your way back up into a comfortable seated or kneeling position. Keeping the eyes closed if you're comfortable to do so. And I'll just bring both of our hands to our heart. I want you to find silence, not just around you, but within. So that you can't only just feel your heart, maybe you can even hear it. That sensation you feel is you being alive. It's what being alive is all about. Now bringing the hands into heart center. Just setting yourself an intention for the week ahead. Maybe you're practicing midweek, so maybe an intention for the rest of the week. Maybe setting it for the week after. This intention can be anything positive, anything that can benefit you, anything that can benefit someone around you, someone less fortunate, less privileged, maybe more vulnerable. Maybe your intention is to practice more, maybe it's to rest more, maybe it's to choose more compassion for yourself. Maybe it's to give yourself a break. And now taking one final inhale, so big inhale in through the nose, holding it in, making it the biggest breath of your day. And when you're ready, opening the mouth and letting it all go. And just gently blinking the eyes open, allowing your mouth to come into a smile. Namaste.